Hello, welcome to Sharmit. In our previous session, we discussed a process through which we can create the sequence in db2 SQL, okay, using SQLRPGLE programming. And now in this session, we will discuss like how we can retrieve the values from that particular sequence. Like if you have created one sequence and now you want to access the next value, or you can say the value from the sequence, then what is the process to do that? Okay, so for that I will firstly create one sequence and then we will see how we can retrieve the value from it. So for that I will directly go and run STRSQL. Here I will retrieve one query for creating the sequence. So here it is. So I'm taking F9 here and the query is create a sequence Sharmit1 slash SEQ1. Start with 1, increment by 1, max value is 100 and no cycle. So this thing we have already covered in our previous session, like what are the meaning of these statements, right? And the only difference is that in our previous session we used this query inside SQLRPGLE program, and now we are using it directly on the STRSQL db2. Okay, so I'm hitting enter. Sequence is created. Now what we will do, like we have started it with 1, so now we have to retrieve this value. So to retrieve this value, I have created one program. So I will show you that. So what we are doing here, firstly we are declaring some constant and variable. So the first constant is SQL state underscore valid, where we have stored 5 times 0, and this is mainly used to check whether this is used to check mainly whether the query is executed successfully or not. Okay, and below to this we have declared one variable value which is of type zone decimal of size 4 and initialized with 0. So this variable we will use to store the output that we are getting from the sequence. Okay, now below to this we are setting the commitment control as commit equals to star none, and below to this we are using one query for retrieving the data. So you have to write in this manner: exec SQL selects next value for SEQ1 into value. So this is the host variable. So how you can identify host variable? Host variable always started with this colon. So whenever you find this colon, it means this is a host variable, and whatever the value we are getting from this SEQ1. So select next value for SEQ1 into value. So it will fetch the next value and store it into this value variable from sys ibm.sysdummy1. So this is a system library, a system file. So from system file it will fetch the value from the SEQ1 and store it into value variable. So once this query is executed, then we will check if SQL state is equal to SQL state underscore valid, then print the value directly. Else we will print the SQL state and print one message: query ended with an error. And then we are doing endif and star nlar equals to star on. So let's quickly compile this program and call this. So I'm calling it. You can see it written 1 because we have just created the sequence and we have not performed any of the value operation there. So it is returning 1. If I call it again, it will return 2. Likewise 3, 4, and 1 by 1 it will get incremented. So this is the one advantage. Another advantage is that, let's say if you are using, okay, let me go with STRSQL. So suppose there is one table we have created. Let me retrieve that query for creating the table. So we will create this sample table, create or replace table customer. There are two columns: customer ID of integer type and customer name is varchar30. Okay, so this table is created. Now you want to insert the data into this table, but you want to make this customer ID as a auto incremented field. So what you can do now, you can use your sequence here. So we can directly insert the data from sequence into our table. Let's see how. So this query we can use insert into Sharmit1 slash customers values. So first argument is next value for SEQ1. So what it will do, it will check for the sequence 1, and whatever the next value is, it will store that store that as a customer ID. And then second argument we are passing as Sharmit. So if I hit enter here, and if I do the query select star from customer, then you will see it insert the record with 5th ID. Why? Because till 4 we have already read from that program, right? So after every read it increment by 1 and change the value. So this time it should show 6, which is correct. Okay, so whenever you are performing a read operation, it will auto increment the value because you are just accessing that value using select next value. That query you can run here also. I will show you. Yeah, so this is the query: select next value for seq1 as next value from sys ibm.systeme. So you can see it is showing the column as next value and the value is 7. Okay, so yeah, these are the some steps through which we can retrieve the value from the next value from the sequence. Okay, so I hope it is clear to all of you. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.